What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones: A Card Game 2nd Edition video for you, brought to you by these awesome supporters of the channel that back us at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can donate over there by clicking the link in the description below. In this one we have Daniel playing Greyjoy Reigns against Storm playing Night's Watch Banner of the Wolf. We got Storm on the left, Daniel on the right. And we hear Daniel talking about having to reread some of these cards. Not very familiar with the Night's Watch cards, and as you guys know, neither am I, but I looked up some of these in advance, some of the recent ones before this tournament, or before this voiceover, sorry, from this tournament, to try to make sure I know what I'm talking about sort of here. But we see he has set up the new gift, a 2-cost unique location. And it's a limited. It has a marshalling action, kneel a steward character to gain a gold, limit twice per phase. Also has a challenge action, kneel a steward to draw 1 card, limit twice per phase. So we're definitely dealing with a steward deck here, as we see Satin on the board and Donald Noy. So we all know Satin after Satin is knelt, choose and stand another steward character. So that works well with that new gift. And we get Donald Noy is a bestow character, but he's on setup, so nothing going on there. And the same thing with the Stony Shore Raider across the board we see set up, also bestow characters, so nothing really going on there. And sadly, also a newly made Lord on setup, not the best with those 2 characters on the Greyjoy side of things. But we see a Rose Road there also to start, which is not bad. So we got Counting Coppers on the left side, into trading with the Patoshi on the right side for the plots. So it's always nice when you flip counting into trading. You get some money to help with all those cards you're drawing to help get them out into play and make some use of them. But, I mean, it's not the worst case scenario. With 10 reserve, you don't need to necessarily play all your cards. But 3 gold on a 2 gold plot, it definitely helps.
So I get 11.
So it looks like we got a first player token down there on the bottom, that Seal the Hand token from, I believe, Broken Egg Games, pointing towards Daniel. So he is going first. And, of course, he dropped trading, so he's going to bomb out some big dudes, we assume. Or a big dude, at least. And there's a limited for the turn. It is a Rose Road.
When you play that, I will kneel a steward to get
So now we have an action on the other side from Storm there, kneeling Donald Noy to get a gold using the new gift.
Yeah.
So this deck on the left, this Night's Watch Banner of the Wolf deck, this was discussed amongst my group before the tournament, saying that this Rat Cook deck might be making an appearance and it's pretty deadly. And I heard it mentioned on, I don't know if it was the Wars to Come or Jessica Thompson's live streams before the tournament. But I remember this Rat Cook deck was mentioned beforehand. And I wasn't sure what it was, I just read the Rat Cook and just assumed it was a beefed up steward deck. And we know the Rat Cook. Let me just get that up here. So the Rat Cook is a 2-cost event. It's a song. It has a marshalling action. Choose a character with printed cost X or lower. X is the number of steward characters you control. Until the end of the round, take control of that character and treat its printed text box as if it were blank except for traits. So you're basically going to steal one of their dudes and do what you want with it, except for they don't have their ability. But, I mean, stealing a dude and then sacking it or killing it or whatever for claim or that kind of thing is just annoying to your opponent and help whittle down their board. We see a Begging Brother. We see Asha set up on the other side. A Iron Islands Fishmonger also there, used to reduce the cost of Asha, I assume. And 1 gold on that Begging Brother, so he's able to cancel a 1 character ability triggered by his opponent. And we see a Steward of the Wall knelt. Obviously, he's not going to use Begging Brother on an ability like that. But we do see Maester Aim in there. That's not a bad ability to cancel. With 2 dupes. Wow. Aemon's not going anywhere, and he's going to save some guys for the rest of his game, most likely. Keeping that Night's Watch board beefed up and full of stewards. We know that's why they're running Banner of the Wolf, to get some of those cheap stewards in there, the 1-cost reducers from Stark. We have a Shadow Black lane there. Now let's say Moltarli.
Do you have the gold left? I do not. Gold left.
So I guess this Rat Cook is similar to steward decks, I guess, where it runs a bunch of cheap stewards. All of it looks like mono icons. And there's one of those Stark stewards. So they're going really wide with cheap little stewards. So I guess the idea is steal your dudes and use those to win challenges, maybe. So I don't think you're doing much with these steward weenies here in the challenge department. But we will see as this match goes on forward. And we know the Greyjoy Reigns deck across the board. Standard Greyjoy Reigns, I'm sure. But that Stony Shore Raider is a different card. As we heard Daniel mention earlier, it's one that is not normally on deck lists.
Unopposed.
So looks like we have an unopposed military coming in here for the first challenge.
I have no reactions for unopposed. So unopposed ball.
And we have our first power of the game here on Daniel's house card. Greyjoy up 1-0. Claim is a dupe off Maester Aemon. Now, if Daniel can start thinking about if he's running Wildfire in his Reigns deck, could be something interesting to flip into. Maybe not this turn, but in a future turn, as this board goes wider here. But he might want to do it sooner rather than later, since the Rat Cook gets better with a bunch of stewards, and we already see he has, I believe, 6 on the board right now. I mean, you Wildfire, you're going to kill 3 of them. And they cannot be saved, so I don't think Aemon can do anything about that. But that would definitely reduce the potency of Rat Cook to start here. But I mean, I'm sure it won't be too long before we see more stewards put on the board, so it could be higher impact later, but by then you might have lost a character. If you can get Triss Botley going on the Greyjoy side and grab some of those events out of the discard pile if they ever get there, hitting with Intrigue Claim would not be bad. So he did a little unopposed power there and got the unopposed off the newly made Lord, coming in on a power challenge. Now he's debating doing the Intrigue, which I don't think is a bad idea. Like I said, flip into a range trigger. If anything is impactful here, I don't know if he's running Wildfire Assault, like I said, but I mean, even copying, counting coppers right now with the Varys Riddle wouldn't be bad. So we see the Begging Brother and Asha coming in together there for 8 strength. And on the other side, we see he has a couple standing Intrigue characters, but we just had Don Elnoy stealthed out there.
Draw a card.
So now we're going to see a card draw triggered off the new gift by kneeling the Stark Steward there.
Trigger new gift again.
And he's going to trigger it again. Limit twice per phase to draw another card, I believe, with Samuel Tarley. Having that 10 reserve off counting definitely helps there to just keep drawing cards. Why not? Probably digging for those events he needs to do his tricks.
That will be unopposed.
And we have the unopposed Intrigue.
I obviously have a reaction. Yep.
And yep, we're going to do a range trigger here. What will it be? And there's the Varys Riddle, yep, to get some card draw.
Copy coppers for 3.
These 3, when she kneels, I'm going to discard.
And if you weren't sure, this is from Toronto, Canadian Nationals 2018. This is a round 1 game, I believe. We have many more games coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe
When everything you drew.
if you're interested in more Thrones content. And here we go, the Intrigue Claim now.
That's the alt art.
And I believe that's a Hand's Judgment alt art there that was grabbed,
Keep remembering.
which will be good if Daniel is running Hand's Judgment to help prevent his Hand's Judgments from being canceled if he tries to hit the impactful events we know they're in Night's Watch Steward decks. Like Rat Cook and Mutiny at Craster's Keep are a couple, I'm sure.
Shuffle the other 2 back in. What'd you get? Nice try.
We hear Storm there trying to trick Daniel into announcing what he found with his Asha search, but you do not have to. Just grab a card and draw it there. You don't have to reveal it. It's not a specific type you have to show that you're not cheating by taking a location or anything when you should be taking a character or something like that.
so 4 is the difference.
Anything else? Nope. That's pretty much you. And I made it easy for you, so. Go intrigue.
And now we have an intrigue challenge of 2 with Maester Aemon on the other side.
So, Shadow Black.
Or win by 5.
And he wins unopposed. We have a Shadow Black lane trigger here.
It'll limit machinations back to me.
He's going to look at the top 10 and grab an event. I can't remember the stipulations on it. It has to be like in-house or something like that.
Unfortunately, it's only one texture.
Alright. And, yep. Rat cook.
And yeah, we just heard he took a rat cook there.
Well,
Well, and Daniel wants to read it.
Yes, special mind. While you.
Yeah, it is rat cook. So like I said before, marshalling action, choose a character with print cost X or lower. X is the number of steward characters you control. And then until the end of the round, take control of that character and treat its printed text box as if it were blank except for traits.
Renown on Marjorie, Insight. It's a loyal card with friendly. Draw another one.
That's a marshalling action.
And yes, 2 costs and a marshalling action. So in marshalling, you could play a bunch of stewards first and then play this as kind of a later marshalling action.
So I got the unopposed and claim. Yep, that's true. I had time to shuffle and then reading through my cards.
2.
And he grabs a copy of Asha on the intrigue claim.
And then we'll go.
And then a military with Donald Noy for 4. That goes unopposed. Claim is going to be the Iron Islands Fishmonger, of course. Although I probably would have killed the Stony Shore Raider there, to be honest. Because you might need that econ off the Iron Islands Fishmonger.
Then I have dominance action. You have a dominance action.
And here's a mutiny. Sacking Donald Noy, the highest cost character there, to get rid of Asha on the other side. Sending her to the discard pile. I'm sure that hurts just a little bit.
Obviously, Rob's playing a lot of Greyjoy Reigns, so he's going to be criticizing my decision making.
Yeah, we heard Daniel just say I'm going to be criticizing his decision making since I play a lot of Greyjoy Reigns lately. But yeah, and I did kind of there that he killed the Iron Islands Fishmonger instead of the Stone Shore Raider. So I was already doing it before he even said it. I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry, but that's my job. That's what I do here, right? If you don't want to be criticized, don't agree to be on camera. No, I'm just joking. I try not to do it too bad. I just bring up questions, not trying to criticize, just to bring up questions to see get the discussion going. So if you guys have any questions, discussions, improvements, or anything you see in the videos by the players, don't rip on them. Don't beat them up for making mistakes. We all do it. But if you have some constructive criticism or some questions or anything, leave them in the description on YouTube under the video so future viewers of the video can see them and discuss.
Yeah.
Help some new players improve their understanding of the game. It's always helpful. Help the people who played on camera also see some suggestions from the community is always good. It's always good to use these videos as an educational tool, which is the main reason I started this whole channel and doing these, or sorry, basically the whole reason I started the channel was to kind of give instruction of playthrough through board games and card games and whatnot. So, and I've had lots of fans of the channel come up to me in person at tournaments and conventions and let me know they like the whole, you know, getting new to the game, buying the core set, and then trying to figure out how it's played. I mean, you can read the rules and watch the rules video, but sometimes you have to just watch the game be played to get an understanding of the flow, especially of going to a tournament and how those interactions work. And I've heard from a lot of fans that this style of video helps them do that, so I'm glad I've helped a bunch of people get into the game easier. That was definitely the underlying purpose behind these videos, help expand the player base.
Because I'm going to have seen half of my deck also.
So we got a Altar Counting Coppers on the Greyjoy side there into a Time of Plenty, so the Greyjoy player's getting 4 extra cards there. And the Night's Watch player getting an extra card off of the Time of Plenty. And it looks like the Night's Watch player is going first. Dupes up Satin there, and dupes up, why can't I think? Samuel Tarley. Dupes up a Shadow Black Lane. So all that card draws is drawing him into lots of duplicates of his existing cards in play there. Help keep his board protected from a reset.
Two Rat Cook.
And he's going to play a Rat Cook here and try to steal the Begging Brother, which he does.
I will kneel this steward with the gold.
And we get the Steward of the Wall knelt to get a gold.
Kneel, stand.
And Satin stands the Steward of the Wall. So he gets a gold off of that, I believe. Or,
6.
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, basically he's... Oh, he knelt...
Yep.
Oh, I see. He knelt Satin with the new gift again, which when Satin kneels, he stands the Steward of the Wall.
Okay, so how am I going to fight through this?
And we also see Bowen Marsh up at the top there. So during intrigue challenges, each steward character gains insight on the Night's Watch side. Now over to the Greyjoy player for his marshalling.
Yeah, you're good. You got it. -1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, I'll try not to stall too long.
And while we're waiting for Daniel here to marshal with his 4 gold, make sure you guys hit that like button on these Game of Thrones videos as you watch them to help other people find them on YouTube and let me know you guys are still interested in them.
Not threatening the military too much, right? I guess you're doing attrition other ways.
And here's Tris Botley coming into play. Like I said before, he can hit hard here if you can grab the valuable events. And since we know it's a Rat Cook deck,
I don't know. Do you mind if we just put it under?
oh, he's actually taking Mutiny at Craster's Keep first, which I think is not a bad hit, but
Ones you can't play.
since Rat Cook was just basically played, so he doesn't have to worry about that for a bit. And he can hit that next turn in the plot phase action window or draw phase action window or whatever before it gets used. Now we have Iron Bank getting back the newly made Lord. The one that he set up so long ago, and I made fun of that it's being set up, which always sucks when that happens. And sometimes you have to do it, but Iron Bank getting him back in hand is always good. I mean, you can't play him again right now, but he's got 4 gold back to help put something more meaningful on the board rather than just the power monocon of the newly made Lord. He doesn't have really any impactful characters on the board yet on the Greyjoy side. He has Baking Brother stolen, so he still does not have an intrigue icon, which is a pain when you have a Greyjoy Reigns deck. Let's see what he plays out here. And he's got a little Theon there for 3 gold, and he's going to sit on a gold. It's not the best Greyjoy board we've seen, but having Asha sack there was from that Mutiny at Craster's Keep earlier was a big hit. And now the Night's Watch player is going on the offense here with his challenges.
Any actions for resolution?
Intrigue.
And now we have an intrigue challenge here with Maester Aemon and Bowen Marsh.
1, 3, 4, 8.
Oh, and a couple other characters involved there. I think he said 8 strength intrigue.
So, yeah, you win the challenge.
I don't know why he went so crazy on the intrigue,
Trigger shadow.
since there's no intrigue icon across the board, but
Intrigue challenge? Marjorie?
I don't think Shadow Black Lane you have to win by a certain amount, because if so, I don't think he did that last turn. But he is triggering Shadow Black here, and he does win it unopposed.
You're not taking Mutiny at Craster's Keep? Come on.
Yeah, Shadow Black Lane is just win an intrigue challenge, so he doesn't have to win it by a certain amount. Not sure why he went all in there. Oh, the insight off Bowen Marsh. That's why he did it. That's why he went all in there with the bunch of stewards on the intrigue challenge. That makes sense. Which I'm sure we'll see him draw a ton of cards right here. So he does get his unopposed power. He's going to hit his intrigue claim, hit Danny's hand here, or Daniel's hand, sorry. Sorry, Daniel, I know you don't like me calling you Danny. I don't know if I can call you Dan, I'm not sure. You please let me know in the comments below what I should be calling you. I know what I'd like to call you. Just kidding, just kidding. Love you, buddy. So he hits, of course, as a Greyjoy player, I know, the one card they always hit in your hand on an intrigue, no matter if you have 40 cards or 2 cards. You always hit the Risen from the Sea there. You're saving. You're saving for a future round there. One of the keys of your Greyjoy decks. Keep your guys on the board. That's your card advantage. Just save them from dying.
Getting my ass served by a bunch of stewards.
You got power on your house card?
Well, that's what I tried. It worked turn 1, but
And now our power challenge here with the Begging Brother. Getting attacked by his own character here. It's 3 strength, so he'd have to block with Theon and Triss to block it fully. Or I guess no, he could use Triss and then pump him with the Armfleet Scout. That's another thing. And yeah, that's what he does. So he defends with 4.
I don't know if you have any actions.
No.
I was second, but
Yeah.
so if I win, I have pillage.
Yep. Pillage.
And he hits with the pillage there on the defense.
Use the new gift.
Yep.
And now we have the new gift triggered there, kneeling the Stark Steward to draw a card.
Okay. Keep it down.
And now I think it's over to the Greyjoy player, Daniel, for his challenges.
Okay. Yeah, that happens. Power challenge.
And now we have a power challenge with a little Theon that goes unopposed.
I do have a reaction.
Okay.
Which is expected.
He's going to We Do Not Sow, using his final gold there to blow up the new gift, kind of stop that gold generation and card generation here. And maybe he can get some Euron action going and steal that out of his discard pile so he can't play another copy. That would be the dream, I'm sure.
Actually, that's it.
That gets me under reserve, and I do believe that that's going to be it for me. Picking Dom, right?
Yep.
Your choice of initiative.
He's not going to attack with the military. He's just going to save the Stony Shore Raider there for dominance.
Yep.
And now the Greyjoy player is up to 6 power, and the Night's Watch player is sitting at 2.
Not the best of turns, but I am happy I've seen Triss bot.
And he goes back to you.
And of course, the Begging Brothers come back there, and now has his text box back. And since Rat Cook is worn off,
Cards, I'm under reserve.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm also good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 9 cards in Storm's hand there, and you think you'd have to discard some, but those Night's Watch guys and those +1 reserves there off of Samuel Tarley and Bowen Marsh, keeping his hand nice and full.
Up, but you have so many stewards now, and it's almost a loss on intrigue.
Sit on 8.
Yep.
And we have a March to the Wall on the Night's Watch side into a, I believe it's an alt art trade routes, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens here when they do the effects.
I will trigger.
Won't affect my econ, so
So it looks like first player is a Night's Watch player, choosing himself to go first. Then we have the March hit there.
Trigger your. You get 2 from me and 3 from you. So
Yeah, this is a trade route, so he's going to get 5 gold off the trade routes there.
draws.
Yep. 2 cards.
Yep. Alright. I've got my 4.
Now see, he just didn't trigger Triss Botley there, and like we said earlier, he needs to trigger it before marshalling. And he is going to Rat Cook Triss right off the bat. Yeah, like I thought that would happen. Yeah.
Okay, I missed the
Yeah, Daniel's just mentioning there how he missed the window. He should have done it in plots or draw. And now we're in marshalling, and Rat Cook's the first ability. Since the Night's Watch player does go first, he collected his gold, and then that was his first action.
So what happens? Does this mean you still can't play that event?
I'm not sure.
And it sounds like they're unsure about the Rat Cook hitting Triss Botley and blanking his text box, but it's lasting effects, I believe. So the cards underneath him there that are out of game are still out of game, and he cannot play other copies, I believe. But they've called a judge. We should hear Alex Hines come over, our awesome TO/judge for the event, and he should clear it up for us here.
So I rat cooked Triss Botley.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the things he's removed?
For the icons?
No, the card. Can he still play Mutiny?
No, you cannot play any of these cards while he's in play, because this
I
is
know.
a lasting
Okay.
effect.
Okay,
So it was
so-
triggered.
Yeah, and we were right there. It was a lasting effect, so even though he's blank now, the cards can't be played while he's still in play.
But anything he's already taken, you cannot play.
Okay.
Does that
So
make
no triggering Triss Botley, obviously, since his text box is blank.
Asking him, but that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure for your thought process. Not for
So that makes Daniel, the Greyjoy player, have to worry about doing military challenges, which explains... Now I figured out why he didn't do a military challenge with the Stony Shore Raider. It wasn't just to win dominance. He didn't want to kill the Begging Brother, I assume. So that makes sense. So he's gonna probably play the same way this turn and not do any military challenges on the Greyjoy side, so he doesn't kill Triss Botley.
Oh, no, 6. You're
Otherwise, I would have taken your begging brother.
Begging brother back makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
And yeah, Storm seems upset that he didn't know that was the way it was done. He would have rather taken the Begging Brother, but if he knew that Triss, he wouldn't be able to play any events off Triss. Sounds very frustrated with Triss Botley.
I prefer not taking the tape back. We're on camera, and I'm trying to.
And yeah, I think Storm's asking for a take back here, and Daniel's saying, no, it's on camera, it's Canadian Nationals, he doesn't want to do it. So they're just going to keep going.
I didn't know
No,
he
that's what
was
I'm saying. I prefer leaving it as is. I'll be the prick, being a French guy, but being on camera and nationals and being extremely nervous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we hear the Canadian apology there.
I'll be the French bastard.
Daniel being the prick, as he said there. But he's going to say no take backs. He's just going to have Triss stolen there.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Then we have an underground vault played out there and knelt right away to get a gold. His trade routes is only, I believe, 2 gold, and then the Rose Road's bumping up to 4, but it's not the 5 or higher it needs to be for underground vault to get 2 gold, so he's just going to take 1. And there's a Frozen Solid on the Iron Fleet Scout.
Makes sense. It's not like I'm getting any other locations.
Mary,
That's on a post. Any reactions, triggers, etc.?
2 plus 2, I get another 4. And he's not triggered, right?
There's a Sea Tower. Over to the Greyjoy player Daniel for his marshalling.
Reduce. Plus 6.
Sounds like we have a 7-coster coming out here. And there's Euron. Looking to hunt down that new gift that we know is in the discard pile to prevent another one from being played. Now we have a Stony Shore Raider coming into play and a bestow on it. So now I have to actually look at what it does. It has bestow 3 and has an action. Discard 1 gold from Stony Shore Raider to choose and kneel a location with printed cost 3 or lower. Limit once per round.
I'm going to go Intrigue with all of these guys, using Satin, triggering Satin to stand Bowen.
We have an all-in Intrigue, kneeling out everybody. Satin triggering to stand Bowen Marsh. But we may see the Begging Brother triggered here to prevent Satin's ability. And yeah, there it is.
Right?
I prefer keeping that for better effect.
And yeah, you hear Daniel saying he'd rather keep the Begging Brother for a better effect, but he popped it there, which I think is the wrong move. I wouldn't have done it there. Since this banner's Stark, Just knowing from playing at tournaments up to this point, Ramsey Snow is a thing, and Baking Brothers are great against him. Unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yeah, that would have been a better effect. Just seeing Banner Stark, I always get worried about Ramsey Snow. So I would have personally saved it, but you never know how long that Baking Brother's going to stick around and be stolen and that kind of thing. So maybe he wants to use them for claim soon or something.
Trigger Shadow Black Lane.
Oh, yeah. That's so awesome.
So Stony Shore Raider triggered there to Kneel Shadow Black Lane, but it's not a Kneel ability, so it's still triggered.
Well, okay, so we're even. Way to burn a trigger. Mind you, worse was maybe a little worse in your planning, but
I'm so stupid.
no.
I knew
Can't
you
believe
had
I did
that too.
No hit.
well, okay, I'll take that.
So he's
But
still at 3.
Still at 3. I'm at 5. I have no other actions. So I win. I have no other actions.
Okay.
No action. No reactions to winning. So a regular claim.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So not sure what event he took there, but he definitely found one.
How do you do in testing with this deck? Is it like 50-50? It's pretty good?
It usually does really well. Triss
I mean,
is really
you-
the only thing that gives this deck recourse
I was
against
gonna
it.
say you look at it on paper and you're like, man, it looks so janky. But I'm seeing you like draw through half your deck, and this is what? This is turn 3.
Yeah. 5 insight.
And here we go, insight off 5 characters thanks to Bowen Marsh. So he drew off Shadow Black, or got an event off Shadow Black. Now he's going to draw 5 more cards. So I don't know if he's looking for pieces or just, yeah, I'm not sure what he's trying to do here, but he's digging, and he's getting half of his deck in his hand. And we heard him mention how Triss Botley was trouble for him in testing, but he usually wins against this Greyjoy Reigns type deck.
Please
So
don't get the only card I don't want you to get. Good card, but
and Littlefinger hit on the Intrigue claim, which they forgot. I guess they did it in the wrong order there, but at least they got the claim.
yeah, that makes sense.
Copy your county.
And we heard the judge say they have 20 minutes left in the round.
Opposed and claim.
No claim.
And I think we had an unopposed power go through there with Triss Botley, bringing the Night's Watch player up to 4 power, and the Greyjoy player down to 5.
+1, -1. Stand.
Let's do the easy stuff first. We'll
And we have a big intrigue coming in here for 6 with Euron Crow's Eye now on the Greyjoy side for his challenges.
I have
And it's going to be unopposed.
reactions.
He's going to kneel a warship
Kneel a warship to Raiding the Bay of Ice. Your Shadow Black Lane on the top.
and raid the Bay of Ice to hit Shadow Black Lane to return it to the top, but is saved with a duplicate, of course.
Get the use out of the card in the warship.
Because the strength buff, the strength
So we said unopposed.
Yep.
I have another reaction.
I know. I would like
And now the Reigns trigger.
crown,
very good at keeping her safe.
the crown blood of the dragon. Like,
Does he have the wildfire? But then again, you don't want to lose Triss Botley, so he probably won't do the wildfire.
what? Oh,
But that's your factor.
Yes.
You know, that's my favorite.
What do you do here?
I have flipped
He's got a red wedding. There's no real lords on the board that he wants to kill.
off the crown before. And then I have a king.
So he's going to kneel the Winterfell Steward.
May as well take it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it for
I always
reactions.
worry.
Help him get an unopposed power through. Help him get to the end of the game, I guess. Makes sense.
Wow, you have such a big
I'm gonna flop that.
And he grabs a new gift on the Intrigue claim.
Can't find room for it. I used to do that all the time.
keywords.
And I always like
Pillage.
put it in my deck because I love it. I really do.
Renown.
Maybe
Can I
now
see
that,
your
like-
discard?
Pillages, gets renown. Let's see what he steals.
What are the odds you're actually playing 3 gifts? Pretty good. I can't take the Shadow Black Lane.
So you said you're from Michigan?
No econ, so I guess I'll take.
Yeah, he's going to take the new gift there and just sit it in play.
Oh, nice.
Not 1.0.
That's going to prevent Storm there from playing another copy if he has a third.
About a half a year after the launch. I played with my boyfriend.
And now we have Power Challenge with Theon.
I played Turkey.
That'll go unopposed.
We've always been good.
Oppose and claim, no reactions.
So he never spelled Targaryen text.
So 9 power now on the Greyjoy side, 3 on the Night's Watch side.
Oh, the new Dinier.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop there.
I'm gonna
Take
keep
it down.
going.
Yeah. take the power and not kill my own Tris.
And Dominus again. Yeah, you heard him mention that's why he's not doing the military. He doesn't want to kill Tris Botley. Makes sense.
No, no dom action.
Stand.
Attacks, I've got a discard. I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to discard 4 cards.
Sounds like Storm has to lose 4 cards to taxation.
Good.
And he comes back, right?
Yeah, he will at the end of the turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more cards.
We'll see if Daniel will remember to steal the Rat Cook this time after he gets Tris back in either the plot phase or the draw phase.
Yeah, I can imagine how Tris is a bit annoying in this matchup. Especially now that we just found that interaction.
Yeah, usually that's
Discarding Frozen Solid, March, Small Paul, Sweet Olive. Back.
And there's Tris going back across the board with that Mutiny at Craster's Keep removed from the game underneath him still.
I am.
And I believe we have confiscation into trade routes.
Just confiscation.
All right.
New York Altart.
Who's first?
Looking to get rid of that Frozen Solid, I assume, with that confiscation.
That sounds like a big character.
I'm not sure who's going first here, but it looks like Storm's just collecting his gold in advance. They're kind of putting it on the locations that are going to get him that gold to remind himself. But he did collect his gold from trade routes. Trying to keep the game flowing here while Daniel decides who's first player. And he's going to choose himself. So Greyjoy is going first this round.
Yeah, I'll just trigger my confiscation.
And confiscation to get rid of Frozen Solid.
2 cards. Four plus 2. Four, 6. Don't have many stewards in this deck. Trigger Tris for Red Book.
And there we go. Marshalling action. First thing, triggering Tris Botley to get rid of Rat Cook out of the game. So it cannot be played by the Night's Watch player until Tris Botley leaves play.
Simple. Kneel a tower for an Iron Mines.
So using Sea Tower there to pay for an Iron Mines.
To get 2 more gold.
And we have the Underground Vault across the board there, trigger to get 2 gold. Looks like he's run out of gold tokens there. He's got to use those little generic tokens from the core set.
Defense doesn't matter.
So we're sitting at 10-3 for the Greyjoy player.
All 6 gold.
And there's Victarion.
Reorganize this a little bit.
So we can assume the Night's Watch player is not playing Valar Morghulis. Since he had all those dupes, I mean, he could have slapped down a kill there and got rid of Euron before the Greyjoy player got his Iron Mines going there.
Yeah, there's plenty of shit some bodies.
No dupes on any of those Greyjoy characters yet either. Could have got rid of Triss.
With
So I'm sure the Greyjoy player is trying to win now before he has to hit his own Valor.
3.
or get his saves all set up. And there's a recruiter of the watch to get rid of the Stony Shore Raider on the other side and kneel him. Or kneel the recruiter to keep the Stony Shore Raider.
Pay 5.
And there's Ramsey Snow for 5. He's going to stack the Stony Shore Raider. And on the other side, we have to have a character sacked. Which he's going to get rid of Begging Brother. I think that makes sense. All the other guys have a big purpose. I mean, that is an intrigue icon in a Reigns deck, but I mean, Begging Brother with no gold on him, you know, he's not as good, I guess, as Theon. Or Triss with a Rat Cook and a Mutiny underneath him there. And at this point, we haven't seen the range triggers really hit that hard anyway, so I don't think he was really worried about it right now. But if he does have that wildfire, I think now's the time. Maybe not, but hey, kill Theon, who cares? Thin that board out on the other side.
So right now,
Really thin that board out on the other side.
power, and mill and entry.
We see an old Forest Hunter out there now too, on the Night's Watch side.
Any pre-challenge actions?
Nope. There's a big clock up somewhere.
No, but I know that he's screaming. I don't know how many.
So they're asking about how many minutes are left. There's no clock posted.
This will be power.
They do realize it's been going a little long. They're a little worried how much time is left in the round. They've been playing for, I would assume, at least 43, 44 minutes based on just the time of the video. But, I mean, time may have started a little bit before that. We heard when they called 20 minutes. We'll see here. So I think a power challenge there with Triss and Victarion, blocked with the Winterfell Steward. At least I think that's what's happening here.
Okay, so so annoying to get these decisions.
I don't know what he's thinking about here. I don't know if he's deciding his...
I guess I'll kneel
I think he's deciding his Intimidate here before...
and then rest of keywords. Actually, I'm doing keywords before claim. Is that a game state? What is it? Claim, I think we have to, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it wasn't unopposed, and renown and pillage.
So he took his power for claim there, did his renown, pillage,
Matter. I'll go mill.
and now on unopposed military.
It is unopposed.
Getting another power.
Okay, so basically, you're for sure winning entry. That's a given.
Now, Daniel here, assuming that the Night's Watch player is going to win intrigue, but whether he win it on offense or defense, you might as well throw Euron in there now, rather than just blocking unopposed, maybe force a bunch of those characters kneel out. But he is going to pass on it. Maybe the right choice. Sitting at 13 power on the Greyjoy side. But yeah, saving Euron for the power defense, I think, was smart, actually. Looking across the many Night's Watch characters there, you only see Bowen Marsh standing with 4 strength on the power. But he does have Ramsey there who can do a military. That may be the better block. Which I think is what he's done there.
That's definitely unopposed.
So it's unopposed. I think it's military. Let's see here. claim time.
I don't know how much time left, right? So
He's going to kill Theon. He's not sure how much time's left. He doesn't know if he needs Theon anymore. He thinks maybe the round's going to end here, and this may be the last round.
2, 3,
So he's just going to kill Theon.
using Satin to stand Bowen.
so brain fart. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, okay.
And now the big intrigue here with a bunch of stewards looking to draw some cards off Bowen, I'm sure.
That's you're at 8, right?
Yep.
And it's an 8 strength intrigue. So if he defends, he just blocks the unopposed, but he's going to let it go unopposed. And we have a Shadow Black lean trigger, of course.
Journey to Old Town.
What is that? That removes the character?
And he grabs a copy of Journey to Old Town, which is a 0-cost event. Reaction after the plot phase begins. Choose a character you control, remove it from the game until the beginning of the next plot phase.
Triggering comes back into play and stuff.
Yep.
Recurring Ramsey Bolton.
So, and you hear Daniel mention he could use that to recur a Ramsay Snow there.
Wow, you have like nothing left. I don't know that I've actually seen that except against the pillage deck.
Yeah, you hear Daniel making comments about this Night's Watch deck being so small after drawing all those cards. Not much left there in the deck.
Are we keeping going or is it this time?
So we hear Daniel asking about time. I'm going to run over. I'm just checking on the camera there, and I'm going to go ask Alex,
We are flipping.
if I recall correctly, that this is the match. I just asked how much time is left. I'm sure we'll hear in a minute. Yeah, 7 minutes. They have 7 minutes still.
Thanks.
Power.
Now we have the power with Bowen Marsh for 4. And there's Euron coming in on the defense.
Yeah, I have no reactions, so keywords pillage.
And we have a pillage off Euron there. You should get a
I
renown.
have nothing in there that I can take again, right? No econ and just another gift.
Yeah, we hear them discussing there's no locations left to take other than a gift, but he's already got one in play.
Dominance action. We'll name Steward. I get to search 8 cards.
So he's played an event there. I think it's the one where he like names the type of character he names Steward. So he's gonna look through the top 8 cards or something and look for however many stewards he gets. So he got 2 there. He got a copy of Satin and a Winterfell Steward. You see them here picking up their speed of play here, trying to get as much done as they can, at least get around to the next round
I'm cutting, but what's
before the time runs out.
hitting what stand?
Yep, stand. At the
So I think the Night's Watch player won dominance there, but didn't take a power for dominance. He's still sitting at 3. I think he said he won dominance there and just went right into doing that dominance action, trying to play fast.
Old Town on Ramsey.
Okay, that's before we actually.
Before
Okay.
block.
Yeah, and there's that Journey to Old Town being triggered there to get Ramsay out of play till the start of the next plot phase.
Oh yeah, there's no action window for me to look at your plots. Your discard, right?
And here they are picking the plots for the next round. Just want to say thanks to both these players for playing on camera. It was appreciated. And thanks to all you guys who are still watching here, all the way till time is called, I'm sure. It's kind of a long match here, but it's interesting. It's cool to see this Night's Watch deck going off here, but not a very close game right now. And we got Annals of Castle Blackblade on the left there into Rise of the Kraken on the right.
Plot. He should be smacked around.
So the Greyjoy player has to choose who's going first here.
Yeah, can I see your discard?
He's going to look through his opponent's discard pile.
Gonna try not to miss that trigger. Wash his needs.
He's looking through the discard pile. I think he's trying to set up a Triss Botley trigger. Maybe he chose himself to go first, I think. Well, that's at least where the first player token's pointing. I don't know if he's actually chosen that. Remember, if you want to support the channel, you can donate at patreon.com. Click on the link in the description below. Appreciate everyone who's donated so far. One of our latest supporters is the White Book Podcast. Just I noticed donated on Patreon. I should definitely return the favor. But yeah, definitely go check out the White Book Podcast. Will is a huge part of the Game of Thrones community. I'm sure you guys have heard his podcast. If you haven't, go search up the White Book Podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check that podcast out.
So I'm going first.
So yes, Greyjoy player is going first. We see another Sea Tower played. And this most likely will be the last round here.
1, 2, 3, 4. For another fat power icon. Bestow him 1.
So silence his crew there with a bestow on it. We got another Iron Mines in play. And over to the Night's Watch player for his marshalling. There's that copy of Satin there, so he's got a triple kit out of him. And he's using his Underground Vault there to gain a gold. And there's Ramsay Snow, just played out straight. Not sure. Wouldn't Ramsay have come in at the start of the plot phase?
And that doesn't say that you can't marshal him, it just says that he's out.
Oh, that happened this round. Never mind. Yeah, we're not around the next plot phase, I guess.
Okay, what in here can actually lose?
So yeah, so you can play another Ramsay even though he's out of play. That's fine.
You don't have any way of generating more gold.
It looks like the Greyjoy player is going to sack Triss there, maybe.
Bank.
And there's time called, so they have to finish this round. Or they can't go on to the next round. This round's going to be the last one, like I said before.
And I will set.
And now the Night's Watch player's got to choose his sack target there off Ramsay Snow. He only has 1 gold left, so that's why I think he sacked Triss there. Not too worried about the events that could be played, since he has 1 gold remaining. But we do see an Old Forest Hunter there. And we know he can generate gold by chucking cards. So we could see another Rat Cook here, actually. Which would be pretty dirty.
Yep, you got it.
It's an amazing. I've never seen.
And I think Storm just conceded there. Maybe doesn't have it. And congrats to Daniel for winning that one. We got more games coming up, guys, so stay tuned. Lots of Game of Thrones coverage here from Canadian Nationals. So like I said, hit subscribe, hit that little notification bell button icon beside the subscribe button to be notified when videos go up or when we go live. I just want to thank you guys for being here watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.